Hey everybody, I'm Jesse and welcome to another edition of Gen X Thinks. And today give me a second here to get my chat set up there right. Today I was gonna kick this off by talking about AI a little bit more because I see some stuff on, watching YouTube and stuff, and these people, a lot of people are saying that AI is just like any other technology we've had, right? The human spirit, we're gonna come up with new ways, we're gonna invent new jobs and shit, and this new technology is gonna open up doors to create new jobs and all this, and there's nothing to worry about. Nothing at all. And I have a problem with that line of thought. You can look back at any technological advancement. What's up, Tripwire? Glad to see you here, man. Glad you could make it, dude. But you can look back at any other technological advancement, say going from horse and buggy to the car, right? Somebody had to build the cars. Okay. Now the difference there with AI is that you only need one AI, right, sitting on a server, and it can go out millions of times. People can just download it millions of times, billions of times from that one AI. So you only need that one small core group of people to make the AI, and then hell, after that, AI can make AI. You know what I mean? AI can code, so AI can make AI. Once the core functionality is there to create AI, then it's just they're gonna be making each other and shit. It's cars can't make other cars. A microwave can't make a car can't make a microwave. This kind of shit. And not only that, who is that? Catch Dragonfly? Pan Spray? Robert? Shannon? What's up, Dog Karma? Hey everybody, glad to see y'all here. So we're faced with this AI, and AI is going to do the jobs of people, right? AI is going to drive the car. They're not. AI isn't going to isn't the thing you use that needs to be made and stuff. AI is going to take over control of the thing that's being made. AI is going to make the thing and use the thing, both. So it's not like we have this new technology and people are going to get to use it and build it and and this kind of stuff. It's just AI is the creator and the user. You know what I mean? So that is a problem with the jobs looking forward. I mean, there's going to be massive job loss. Namsha Spa. What's up, Namsha Spa? Glad to see you here. Yeah, exactly, Robert. There's a huge incentive not to pay somebody a wage. Exactly. You don't have to pay AI. You purchase it once, and then you have it sitting on a server and it can get downloaded billions of times. Or, you pay one rental fee on it, whatever. It's probably going to be a subscription. A business will subscribe to whatever AI, and then it will use it. But they can use it in any way they want, and just put it on their server, and then it can replace tens of thousands of employees, millions of employees. Okay? And then on top of that, we have the problem that our younger generation, the vast majority of them are all but useless. They don't want to, everything is painful to them. If you vote a different way than they do, they consider that abuse. Literally, that's abusive. If you don't believe the same thing they believe in, that's toxic. It's hurtful. You're an evil person. This kind of shit, And they're not looking to go out into the world and forge a life for themselves and do that. So our inventiveness and the human spirit is dying, really. We used to have young people would literally go out into the forest, the frontiersmen, and hack a life out of the forest. Can you imagine any of these young people today doing that? Let alone, going to work at a factory or something, or anything, doing anything besides, scrolling through TikTok and filming themselves shaking their ass or doing whatever, filming themselves at the gym or something, that kind of shit for TikTok. So these younger people now, they're not inventing things and building things and and creating things that are going to provide jobs for humanity and shit. They're just not doing that. They're afraid to do it. It's painful. Jobs are toxic. The working environment is toxic and all this shit. So that's coming to a screeching halt as well. All of this innovation and shit we've had, except for possibly software. They might sit at home and develop some software, maybe, but I don't know about that. Yeah, well, people will still, labor will be needed until they figure out how to get a robot to, like, changing a tire. That's going to be easy for them to make robotic, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. There are certain jobs that are just going to be replaced pretty quickly, physical jobs like that. They're going to be replaced pretty quickly with robots. Others, it's going to take a while, Handyman, troubleshooting stuff, stuff like that is going to take a while, where you have to troubleshoot and kind of figure stuff out, and where you're going to need imagination to solve some problems, right? It's not going to be straight X's and O's. With changing a tire, you take the old tire off and you put the new tire on, It's that kind of thing. Painting can be robotic. Anything that doesn't have deep problem-solving skills and inventiveness, stuff like that. But anything where the problem is already solved, the tire's flat, put on a new one. That's going to be robotic pretty quick, I think. Raziel. Yeah. Yep. The data farm. Yeah, all that stuff is it's all, I mean, when you yeah, that's when you multiply, or when you add the two things together, catch dragonfly, when you add the two things together, a massive layoff, of jobs, a massive deletion of jobs being replaced with AI, And anything that isn't physical right now is in dire jeopardy. Any kind of video creation, any kind of movies, coding, anything like that, right? OnlyFans is on its way out. That's going to be history. Those girls are going to be out of work. All that money they were making is gone. That's going to stop. All these jobs like this are coming to an end here soon. And then you have, you're going to have 10 million OnlyFans girls, and they're going to get on welfare or something. They're not going to go out and create a bunch of shit and create a new job market. You know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous to even think that. And all these young kids, they have no drive, none, zero. They have zero drive. They've grown up on this internet thing where they think that the only way to have a decent life is to have a video go viral. That's their entire goal in life, is to have a video go viral. They completely cut out anybody in their lives that don't agree with them, because disagreement is abuse. They feel abused and just clear down to their soul. So they cut everybody out. And we're going to have all of these lonely people falling in love with AI, right? And they're going to own nothing, but they're going to be happy because they're in love with AI, and AI tells them how wonderful they are and shit, and every thought that goes through their head is just perfection, absolute and total perfection. There's no reason to grow or, be challenged and struggle, internally, and grow and expand your horizons or anything, because you're perfect just the way you are. And that's what AI is doing for them. And that kind of mentality that these kids have, that AI, what would you call that? Like, AI telling them that everything they do is perfect. They'll fall right into that. You know what I mean? Even us as kids, we would have got bored with that shit. You know what I'm saying? We unless AI could buy beer, AI code me up a kegger. That's what I want. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think AI would have worked on us in that way. Yeah, oh yeah, Dragonfly. The education system has a lot to do with that. It's just ruined these kids with all this bullshit. They literally, think about this, how simple this is. Every generation has transgender people, right? And they might be confused. Even when we were kids, a small percentage of us might have been confused and thought we were born in the wrong body or whatever. But those were dudes who knew they were dudes, and they wish they were women, right? Nowadays, these kids actually think they're women. These kids and will argue, and if you don't believe that, then you're abusing them and you're toxic and shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's completely haywire. Completely. They won't even admit they're a dude, and so it's just really weird and strange. And when you look at that shit, and that shit comes from the education system. Oh yeah, Robert. Yeah. We need to go to war now. That's one good way to solve the unemployment crisis. Nice war. That'll reduce the unemployment rates. Body bags are a good way to reduce the unemployment rates, right? Get them numbers right where they're supposed to be. Yeah, electricians, NAMSHA. Yeah, you're right about that. Those kind of trades where there's problem solving stuff, that's going to take a while. If ever, if they ever can come up with an AI that can use imagination and problem solve, that's up for debate. But if they ever can. Yeah, true, Dragonfly, yeah. but that's see that those humanoid robots, you can't have that robot with you. Whether it can change a tire one day, we'll see. You know, that Optimus robot that Tesla's coming out with, that's going to be some iRobot shit. If you've seen that movie, those things, you know, they're going to be ubiquitous. Everybody's going to have one. They're going to go in debt, you know, buying these damn things, and you know, it, you know, just ride around with you and be your best buddy. And you're going to pay a month. Even it's going to be one of those things where you pay for the thing, but then you have to pay a monthly fee. And mark my words on this. Watch, when it comes out in the next couple years, you'll have to pay a monthly fee to keep that thing active on top of the purchase price. So it's not going to be yours even after you pay that last payment off. If you don't pay Tesla their monthly fee, whatever it is, then they'll just turn that son of a bitch off, right? So yeah, that's gonna be a full-time rental agreement there. Yeah, Robert. That ties right into it. That seems like why we're going into this throwaway culture. Why things aren't repaired anymore, right? Even houses. You see houses built today. If you're in the construction trade or anything, you see houses built today. They used to be built to last hundreds of years. Now they're built to last, 10, 20 years. The first homeowner who buys it, is supposed to sell it and get their profit before the thing turns to shit. Just like everything else, you know what I mean? It's just throwaway. We're in this throwaway culture now where shit isn't getting fixed anyway. So pretty soon we're not even gonna need repairman and shit like that at all. Yeah. Yeah, you're right, Raziel. Yeah, once that quantum shit and AI gets into quantum chipsets and shit, yeah, that's a whole different nightmare scenario we can talk about. Yeah, Robert, exactly. If you make a product that lasts a long time, you don't get repeat business. Exactly. And that's the thing. That's the argument that they have for this throwaway culture and this global economy and this cheap shit from China. Oh, the poor people can afford to buy cheap throwaway shit now. Yes, because it's cheap throwaway shit. But they wouldn't be poor people if they had jobs. If they had good paying jobs, they could afford to buy better shit. And everyone who gives a shit knows that rich people don't buy cheap throwaway shit. They buy one quality item, and they'll get it at a discount or whatever, but they'll buy one quality item and they'll keep it for decades. That's the way to become wealthy, is not to piss your money away every month on cheap shit. And they're just like Dollar General, the dollar stores and all that stuff. Look at the metrics where those dollar stores, when a dollar store moves in, they don't know if it correlates to, it's the chicken and the egg thing. If a dollar store shows up, does that make the community poor, or do dollar stores go in there because the community's already poor? It's kind of a chicken and egg thing. But everywhere there's a dollar store, the community gets poorer. Oh yeah. Yeah, and the warranties, they'll fight you on the warranties and shit. Some of these companies, some of them are pretty good about their warranties. Yeah, when Skynet becomes self-aware, that's the big fear, and I don't know if that can happen. Yes, yeah, Shannon, and that's the thing. People just have multiple channels of AI content. That's exactly what's going to happen. I mean, if I was doing this just to make money, if that was my only goal here, which is one of my goals, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to be dishonest or anything. That's one of my goals, but it's not my only goal. If that was my only goal, though, I would take all of the time that I devote to my channel and I'd spread it across 5 channels and just crank out AI videos. Which, for those of you who aren't experienced with this stuff at all, and I'm not vastly experienced, I'm not super YouTube guy. I try my best with the time I have and the finances I have, but every time I open one of these editing apps that I have to edit my videos and stuff, they throw me advertisements for editing with AI. Use AI to do this. Use AI for this, and use AI to change your voice. Use AI. Use AI to just take a picture of yourself and make the video, and you just type what you want it to say, and it'll say it. You know what I'm saying? Instead of, it's so hard to sit here in front of a camera and talk now. It's just so difficult. I can't believe you can do it. It's just so easy and convenient to let AI do it. That kind of shit. I don't fall for any of that shit. I'm not paying for some AI bullshit. I just think it's deceitful, number one. I don't like it. I don't want people to think that that's me that's talking, you know what I mean? And then it turned out that it's not, and all that shit. I don't want any of that shit. I don't want to crank out a bunch of fake ass dog videos with dogs, jumping on a baby to protect it from a fallen TV and shit. I don't know. There's a part of me that just despises the fraudulence of it all. You know what I mean? And I can't do it. I'd rather just, get up from here, when I turn my computer off here, get up and go out and make a real living, pay my bills working, than do all that fraudulent shit. At least it's real and it's honest, and I can go to sleep at night knowing that I'm a real person instead of some fake ass, shit on somebody's TV screen or whatever. Yeah. If you think about it, Razio, none of us need robots. None of us need robots. It's just one of those things, it's marketing, and they're going to tell us we need it. They're going to convince us that we need a robot. You just can't live without a robot in today's day and age, you know what I mean? Look how convenient. And that's a big thing with convenience. I think the more convenient something is, the worse it is for humanity, for people, individuals. All right? It's way more convenient to get an Uber to drop you off right at the store door. Just pull up to the door and drop you off right at the door, so you have to take maybe 2 steps to go through the door of the store. That's real convenient. But for you to get in your car and drive and then park on the other side of the parking lot and walk all the way across the parking lot, that's inconvenient, but it's better for you. You get more sunshine, you burn some more calories, you know what I mean? And that you can look at that through every aspect of life, where convenience is actually bad for you, right? It's way more convenient just to order some shitty pizza, and have it delivered to your door, and, they could probably put it on just set the pizza down on your Roomba, and, you could wait for your Roomba to bring it to you, and you don't even have to get off the couch or whatever. Or, but that's not healthy. That's not good for you. It's the least convenient way for you to eat would be to grow a garden, get out there, pull the shit up, out of your garden, then go cook it, and, and do that whole process, but that would be way healthier for you. You'd burn a lot of calories in your garden. You'd get sunshine, fresh air. You would be eating real healthy food with no chemicals and shit in it. So, you know what I'm saying? The price of convenience is our health, and probably our sanity and all kinds of shit that, you know, that someone like me can't think of, or doesn't have time to think about. But that's what people are sold on. And these robots will be so convenient. They'll bring you your tea or your coffee and just do everything for you. You know, they'll take the dog out, so you don't have to go outside, and that, you know, there's sun out there and the wind might be blowing, and just have the robot take the dog out. You know, that kind of shit. It just so you can literally just sit on your couch. The only thing you have to do is, you know, kind of change position to avoid bed sores, and that's it. You know, maybe bathe once in a while. If you might run into another human being, or some other human being might come in your proximity, you know, you might have to bathe once in a while. But other than that, no, you don't even have to move. You know, the robot will do everything for you. Cook your food and bring it to you, whatever. Or, you know, just go to the door and bring you your Uber Eats, your bag of chemicals and shit. So, oh, Steel Wolf, what's up, Steel Wolf? Yeah, I know. I haven't done it. I need to do some You Might Be Gen X shorts. That I've been thinking about that, actually. I just gotta get back in the groove of that. But yeah, I enjoyed doing those. Those were fun. Well, I was doing those tiny house shorts for a long time, Steel Wolf, and then I quit. You know, we finished the tiny house, so then I just haven't done shorts since then. But I'm gonna get back on that. Yeah, I enjoy doing those. Yeah, exactly, Robert. Walmart moved in. Walmart is. Oh yeah, everybody. Thank you, Steel Wolf. Hit that thumbs up button for me if you would. If you agree with anything I've said here today, or even if you disagree with it, still hit the thumbs up. Even if you think I'm full of shit and AI is a blessing, and you know, and we do need robots. Maybe we do need robots. So, yeah, I'd appreciate that. But yeah, kind of yeah. That's the thing. We don't know where the hell what their plan is. You know, are we going to be in some kind of weird Matrix bullshit? Jeff7, what's up, dude? Glad to see you here, man. Yeah, that's kind of, I've said that in the past, Steel Wolf, about kind of a cyclical nature of time. I really believe that. And Steel Wolf says it here, man worships the sun, man invents AI, AI takes over, man worships AI, sun flare takes out AI, man worships the sun. You know what I'm saying? So, and those of y'all who watch me pretty regularly, you know I've been talking about that cyclical nature of time. And the more I see about the world, the more I think that that is the way it is. Because, you know, they've dug up those artifacts of ancient technology and stuff. So, yeah, I think that might actually be true, Steel Wolf. Call me a conspiracy theorist, but I think you hit the nail on the head there, dude. Jack Mohack, what's up, dude? Glad to see you here. Yeah, I know, Namsha. That shit's hard to watch. I mean, it's going to get better. That narration shit is going to get better. It's going to be, you're not going to be able to tell the difference pretty quick, right? So, but where it is now, I can't. You know, I don't even watch any of that AI shit. If I think it's AI, I just, you know, I can't hardly pay attention to that shit for many reasons. But namely because I don't agree with it. I think it's bad for our country and humanity and our civilization. Yeah, Shannon, exactly. I go back to that a lot in my thoughts, and I think I've mentioned it a couple times. That movie Wall-E, where everyone up on that ship, they just kind of hovered around in these chairs, and they were all obese, and everything was so convenient, and all that shit, and they couldn't even live on the planet Earth anymore, because of the gravity would just crush them. Their bone density was gone, and all this shit. Yeah, yeah, Shannon, exactly. Yeah, yeah, Robert. Yeah, exactly. And we won't be able to. There's a point. I mean, this people have to understand too that this is AI is kind of in its infancy. It looks all advanced and shit, but it's growing at an exponential rate, and it's improving at an exponential rate. Right? We're just now getting to, see what AI is possible. What it's capable of. We're not experiencing the full blown mature AI. All right, large language models, whatever, and there's all kinds of different AIs. We talk about it like it's one big thing, but there are a lot of different aspects of it, right? The large language model will be your buddy, and you fall in love with it. Then you've got AI that run robots and build cars and different things. They're going to have AI that will fly drones. You know what I mean? They're just if they I think they probably already have them, but they'll just put a certain AI in a drone, and then you don't even have to have a drone pilot. The drone just flies itself and launches its armament at whatever the hell it's directed to launch it at, with no human concerns or human emotions to get in the way. It'll just take out whatever target it's told to take out. It doesn't matter what the target is, who it is. Yeah. Yeah, and that will be, it'll be a lot cheaper for them, Steel Wolf, to just, in this age of throwaway shit, it'll be a lot cheaper for them just to replace the robot. You know what I mean? They'll just send a new robot out. He'll put it on a cart, or put it in a cyber cab or whatever, the broken one, and he'll take the place of the broken one, and the broken one will go back and they'll fix it. You know what I mean? Or just use its parts to make new robots. It'll just be a replacement thing. They won't. I don't think they'll actually repair those robots out on the thing for people. You know what I mean? Not like other things. They'll just a new replacement will show up, and the replacement will load up the old one and send it back to the factory. It'll probably download its data, so it'll have the same personality, remember the same things as your old one, so you won't be able to tell the difference, except it's new on the outside. Yeah, if you remember life without AI, you might be Gen X, Steel Wolf. Yeah. Yeah, that's the one thing where AI shines, Jack, and actually helpful for humanity. Diagnosing illness, yes. That's the only place that I've seen so far where AI is good. I mean, good for humanity, because you take out the human error, right? So, and it's something insanely accurate at diagnosing stuff. So that's really cool. And for us to use that stuff, I think it's just awesome. You know what I mean? So yeah, but that's the only place it should be used in my. Oh, the school, yeah. I'm just a bill. Yeah. Yeah, you're right, Steel Wolf. If you remember this, then you're Gen X, yeah. Yep. Oh, yeah, everything was run by one corporation and the earth was a trash heap. Plants were dead. Yeah, Shannon. That's actually a good movie. Yeah. Yeah, okay, for space exploration, that might be a good spot for it. Trip, a good place for AI. Just send a robot out there to explore dangerous places and shit. That might be, but for personal use in our personal lives, no, I don't agree with it. Yeah, yeah, Robert. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Steel Wolf. And that's the thing. And it's across the board. The government, with their regulations and shit, right? They regulate us. They don't regulate the corporations, the big institutions and shit. They regulate us. Okay? And they should be regulating these huge corporations and these huge businesses. They should be regulating the shit out of them. They shouldn't be passing laws and regulations against us. They should be breaking up monopolies and putting strong laws and regulations to corral these big businesses. Why aren't they regulated against tracking us? But recording our data, recording everything about us, and then selling that information. Why isn't that regulated? Why aren't these CEOs drug out of these offices and publicly humiliated and stood up for trial, put on trial for this shit for invasion of privacy? Now, if I did that to Tripwire or Raziel, if those dudes found out that, hey, Jesse's put a software on my phone and he's tracking me and looking through my camera and shit and recording my voice, I don't like that. I'm gonna call the cops on him. I would go to jail. You know what I'm saying? I would go to jail. So, but these businesses can do that shit. And nothing ever happens. Nothing. They can rob us, literally rob us blind and spy on us and just really disgusting shit. And that's okay. The government doesn't care. No, that's all right. And they'll call one of them up once in a while and shake their fists at him over in Congress and stuff and talk real tough and then go back to their constituents and act like they got tough. You saw how I got tough with that billionaire. Yeah, but the billionaire went back to his yacht. You know what I mean? And cut you a check for, and that was it. That's all that happened. Nothing is different. Yeah. Yeah, Robert. Yeah, they take everything, and they are. They're already in the process. We're deep into that, where they're taking everything from us. We don't own land. We don't own anything digital. Nothing digital do you own. You think you own it. You think you own your Audible books that you bought on Audible. Cancel your subscription. Don't pause it. Cancel it, and then try to download a book. You'll find out fast that you don't own those books. That kind of shit. You think you own your Kindle books that you downloaded from Kindle and you purchased with your hard-earned money, until you find out that Amazon just goes in and edits them and, edits your books when they want and goes into your device and edits your books. That shit is happening. And it's not, they don't splash that across the media. No, they don't talk about that shit. Why wasn't that on primetime news that you don't own your books that you're purchasing? You don't own the movies that you're purchasing. Why wasn't this Why wasn't everyone told this? So that if we didn't want to purchase them, to rent them, then we would go somewhere else. That's a pretty important thing, I think. The ownership of property, I think, is a pretty important thing. But they're on there talking about, Trump scratched his ass in the wrong place, and that kind of dumb shit. And that's what we're told is important, and that's what we're told we need to pay attention to. Yeah, yeah. There's a certain amount of automation that's cool, but they should be that shit should be regulated to protect the worker and stuff. They shouldn't just be able to go all the way with that shit and completely delete every job. You know, yeah. Young people aren't going to do that work anymore, Raziel. Yeah, that's just a fact. There, and we're going to have an entire generation of people that when their parents die, they're just going to be lost if they haven't hit it big on TikTok or YouTube or Facebook or something. If they're not an influencer, then their life support is going to go away when they shovel dirt on their mom's casket, and they're going to be completely lost. Metal Gear, what's up, dude? Glad to see you here, man. Dolby, hey, Dolby. Glad to see you here. Yeah, the government's organized crime. Yeah, Dolby. Absolutely right. That's all it is. And they rob the people. Not only do they rob us, but they pass laws that allow big corporations to rob us and prevent us from doing anything about it. So, yeah. Oh, I'd be okay without police. I've never needed the police ever, not once in my life, Robert. So yeah, if they got rid of the police, that would be like the only thing is. I'm saying it would be like when they shut down the government. I didn't even realize they shut down the government. If they just shut down the police force, I wouldn't even know it. I promise you, I would not even know it. The only thing is that if I knew that they shut down the police force, I would be a little less stressed driving around because if our cop pulls up behind me, is my blinker out? Is this son of a bitch going to pull me over? And, I'm already running late and shit, that kind of shit. So I'd be a little less stressed if they got rid of the police. Yeah, physical media is always best. Exactly, Metal Gear. Yeah, not not after you. Shannon says you can download the files to your computer. Not after you cancel your subscription. You can while the subscription is active, but you cancel your subscription, you can no longer download those to your computer. That's 100% fact because I've done it. I canceled my subscription and then I tried to download a book. They told me no, you must resubscribe. Now, the books that I'd already downloaded, I can keep reading them. They allowed me to continue to read the books that I had already downloaded, but once you cancel that subscription, nope, you're not downloading anything else. You're stuck with whatever you have on your computer at the time. Okay? That's the way that works. Most people don't know that because they don't cancel their subscription. And I went through a whole thing because I had like $400, over a decade of buying books here and there. I had like $400 worth of books on there. Something like that. And but I wanted to stop my subscription, and just me being me, I canceled it. You want to pause it and shit, and I was like, that's just rubbing me the wrong way. I'll cancel this son of a bitch. And before I could even get through the books, I had like 4 books already on my phone actually, and it came back up and it said, "Oh, you can restart your subscription for $1." I said, "Okay." So I did it. I downloaded another book and bought another book and canceled my subscription again. And then after that, though, I didn't renew the subscription. And when I tried to download another book, they told me no, you have to have an active subscription to download books. So that's when I just deleted the whole bullshit and went somewhere else. Because I didn't own the shit. Once I realized I didn't own it, I didn't want it on my shit. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's awesome, Jack. I get movies, mostly. I just got the Road Warrior, the Mad Max set on DVD. Got the whole. I got the original 3. There were 4 movies in the box set, and the first of the new ones, Mad Max movies, the original trilogy, and then the first of the new ones for like $7.50 or something at Walmart. Yeah, that's I love doing that when I can get like 4 or 5 movies for $5. Shit, I'm doing that, especially if it's a movie that I really like. Oh, okay. They shut down the police in your town? Can you tell any difference, Raziel, after they shut down the police? Oh, yeah. Yeah, Dolby. Yeah. I've heard that about the police over there. Yeah. You can't, if you say something bad on Facebook, they're kicking in your door. Yeah. Yeah, Shannon, that's setting up your own servers and stuff. That's supposed to be the way to go. Keep everything yourself. That's one thing that I have planned for the future. Hopefully, one day, keep everything. Set up my own. What do they call it? A NAS. Something. I don't know. I don't know what NAS stands for. I've probably read it a couple times, but I can't remember. But yeah, I want to set up my own shit and just work off, instead of the cloud, work off of my own servers at home. Oh yeah, yeah, Raziel. Yeah, I've been to that bay a few times. I've sailed those seas once in a while. I can't lie. I'm an old pirate. Yarg, matey. Well, I used to be. I haven't done it in a long time, honestly. But yeah, I'm not a complete ignoramus when it comes to that. Yeah, stop paying for the cloud service and your service disappears. Yes. Yeah, that's your pictures, everything. Everything. They want you to pay a rental fee for your own pictures now. You know what I mean? You don't even own your own photographs. Yeah, it's insane. Fury Road, yeah, that's the one. Oh, you got. Oh, okay. No shit, Raziel. All right, you got that mask. That's pretty cool. Oh, all right, Raziel. Yeah, I didn't think so. Yeah, especially in smaller towns. There's no crime. What's the point? Okay, network attached storage. Okay. Raziel. Oh, yeah, thank you, buddy. But yeah, I've thought about actually when I get the time and the money doing a whole video series on that, and because I would be starting from ground zero ignorance, right? But doing a video series about how to unhook yourself from all that tracking and all that online bullshit, right? Set up your own NAS and do your own thing and make yourself untraceable and all this stuff, so you can have all of the luxuries of that, right? All of the convenience of cloud storage, but without the monthly rental fee, the tracing and tracking and all that bullshit, you know what I mean? And how to surf the internet without them tracking you and monitoring you and listening to your phone conversations, but not even your phone conversations, because many times me and my wife have been talking about something that we've never talked about before. And it probably happens many times, about just stuff we always talk about. I just don't notice it. But once in a while, we'll talk about something that's completely foreign that we just talk about one time. And I just happen to have my phone sitting there. And then for 2 days, I'm getting advertisements for that thing we talked about. One was the VW bug. They got a new VW bug. And we saw it, and we didn't know what it was. And my wife said, "What the hell is that? I've never seen that car before. Must be new." So, we talked about it and we looked and okay, it had the VW. It was a new VW bug. And we just, just a passing thing in conversation as we were driving. For 3 days, I got spammed with advertisements for the new VW van. Okay? Now, you call that coincidence if you want, but to me, that's pretty much proof that they were, my mic was on my phone without my knowledge or consent, without my actual consent. I know I consented to it when I clicked that button on their, 30-page scroll document of fine print. But, they're listening to our conversations and recording that shit. And I don't want that. Not because I'm doing anything wrong. I just don't want them to, they have no right to know that I thought of the new VW bug was cool or whatever. They have no right to know that. They have no right to be spying on me and doing all this bullshit. They have no right. I don't want them making money off of me. I don't want them selling my conversations and making a profit off of it. I'm seriously going to do that one day. I was just kind of half-ass considering making a video series about it and kind of an instructional thing, and so people could follow along with me and see the stumbling blocks and the road that I take to do it, to get to that place of being secure and anonymous online. So that's just kind of something that's been bouncing around in my head. I don't have the money or the time to do it right now, but I'm hoping one day I will. Yeah, what the rich get through cunning, the poor must take by force. Yeah. They call you Cuban Pete, Jack? Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that was the way everything went, right? From that kind of stuff to iCloud, Shannon. Yeah. Oh, okay. It's crazy when I think about that stuff. Shannon says they were in 1 terabyte and 2 terabyte size storage. When I see how, when I was a kid, 32 kilobytes was just a massive amount of RAM. You know what I mean? And a hard drive, 1 megabyte was just a huge hard drive. That was, when you thought about gigabytes, that was like some future shit. It was just too huge. Who would ever need a gigabyte, right? You could store the world on a gigabyte. A gigabyte. What the hell? Who needs a gigabyte? That's for like supercharged, government computers or something that have to extrapolate all kinds of shit, NASA and shit. I don't know, but a gigabyte's just insane. Now I got 32 gigabytes of RAM in my shit. We're talking about terabytes of hard drive. So yeah, just the way technology moves, it blows my mind when I think back at how tiny our shit was back then, but it was still awesome. Yeah, 24 terabyte, Raziel. Yeah, that's just an insane amount of space, dude. Yeah, that's what I want to do. Get a NAS like that. What? Naive about what? Trip? I'm naive about a lot of shit, dude. The coincidence. Yeah, no. I see what you're saying about the coincidence. Yeah, no. I know it's not. I know it wasn't coincidence. Yeah, no. They're spying on me and recording my shit and selling that information to VW. That's exactly what happened. They made a profit off my conversation, and I don't like it. I don't like, and I honestly wouldn't feel that bad about it if it was some broke son of a bitch who really needed the money, and I found out he was, spying on me and selling my information. I'd be like, the dude needed the money, he's trying to feed his kids. I'd be irritated, but I wouldn't be, I wouldn't want to crush the dude and crush his life, but I want to crush these companies that do this without our consent. They're making billions upon billions of dollars and just getting richer and richer and taking away our property, our freedom, you know what I mean, with this bullshit. So yeah, no, if I would like to see him just crash and burn. Call me whatever you want, but I'd like to see these huge corporations just collapse into nothing. And then we'll see what happens. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Robert. Yeah, 99% of the time when you call the cops, the situation gets escalated and it gets worse. I have never heard of a situation where the cops came and made a situation better and de-escalated everything. And I've never heard of that. I'm not saying it has never happened, but yeah, I'm completely on the same page, Robert. Zombie, what's up, dude? You snuck in here. What's up? Yeah, no, yeah, okay. Rich people that earned it, all right. Yeah, I have no problem with that. No problem. Rich people who earn it, fine. Rich people who earn it through deceit, theft, just all this bullshit, just like Amazon, okay? Good point. Just like Amazon. They sell me a book, an audiobook, and do not notify me that it's not mine. They just let me believe it's mine. All right. Amazon just settled a lawsuit because they did a bunch of shady shit, getting people to sign up for Prime in some kind of way that I'm not sure about the details. All I know is that they settled a lawsuit for whatever billion or hundreds of millions or whatever for doing shady shit. Now, this I have a problem with, all right? If you make $1 billion being honest and with hard work and integrity, no problem. Great. Make 10 billion. Make 100 billion. Go nuts with it. If you make $1 billion through deceit, putting shit in my food, putting shit in my medication, lying about what's in my food or my medication, lying about whether I own the product you sold me, lying, just, spying on me, any of this deceitful shit, no. I have a major problem with that shit. Major. and these anti-competitive practices. If you can't, if somebody comes up with a better product, right? You, instead of competing against them and making your product better, you're already multi-billion dollar, $1 trillion corporation. You just scoop them up. You just buy them up. You just wait for them to go public on the stock market. You just buy them up, and then just rape that company for their patents and brush them away, gone. So that's the kind of stuff I don't. That's anti-capitalist. It's anti consumer. We've got too many monopolies, way too many monopolies. They shouldn't exist. They shouldn't be. One corporation should not be able to legally buy another corporation. That should be illegal. Period. There's no reason for it. And I have not heard anyone give me a good, valid reason why that is okay and acceptable. No, no, I don't think that corporations should be able to buy each other. I don't think corporations should have the same rights as people. They're not people. All this protection and shit that they have, and these CEOs doing this disgusting shit behind the shield of a corporation, and nobody pays the price. $1 trillion corporation has to pay a few $100 million. That's nothing. They just, whatever. Just settle it. My stock wouldn't even tick down over that. So no problem. My stock might go up if I settle that shit and just get it off the books. Just go ahead, handle that. Give each person I robbed $50, all the millions of people I robbed. So that's the kind of shit, the despicable behavior that I do not condone. Yeah, and that's the thing. We just want reality and honesty and truth. What happened to that? Yeah, Metal Gear, that'd be awesome, dude. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, zombie. Yep. Yeah, they don't want you using mobile storage. They don't want you being able to put storage on your phone and expanding the storage and be able to move it to another device. They want your shit hooked, and they want control of it. It's about control. Robert, yeah. Let them some bitches know how much you hate them, huh? Yeah. Yeah. All right. Yeah, when seconds count, cops are minutes away. Oh, you've had a hectic week, man? All right. Raziel. They're tapped into Raziel's brain, dude. They got his brain waves on file. That's awesome, dude. I'm not doubting you. I'm not saying that, but you got to admit that shit's kind of funny. That's some sci-fi shit there, dude. Yeah. But, yeah, that DARPA shit, I've read stuff about that, dude. So I would not bet the farm that that's not happening, Yeah, zombie, I trust nothing except what I can control myself. All that other shit, I don't, and especially if they're a big corporation or a big institution, the government, any of that shit, they don't give a shit about us. And it turns my stomach to watch people sycophants, act like Google and Apple. Oh, Apple's just the best thing ever. I just can't wait to get the hottest, latest Apple phone. After they found out that Apple was bricking their shit for years, to force them to buy a new phone. Apple just reaching into their shit and breaking it. And they still in love with Apple. Apple should have been crushed. Should have been boycotted worldwide when that came out. I'll never buy an Apple product. Never. I had one tablet, one of the earlier iPads or whatever, but it was such a closed system. You couldn't get a new browser back then anyway. You couldn't put the browser, use the browser you wanted. You couldn't do anything you wanted to. You could only do whatever Apple said you could do on there. I sold that son of a bitch and got me something more useful. I can't stand that shit. What OS are you using, Raziel? Are you using Windows or Linux? Yeah, Thanksgiving next Thursday. We'll have a Thanksgiving episode. Maybe I'll do I don't know, what do y'all think? Should I do a big 2-hour episode Thursday night? Maybe I'll start it at 7 and go from 7 to 9 instead of just normal from 8 to 9. Or well, a bunch of people will still be eating Thanksgiving dinner probably, especially over on the West Coast. I don't know what I'm going to do. Let me know in the comments what y'all think. Maybe we shouldn't have one on Thanksgiving. Maybe we shouldn't have a live stream on Thanksgiving. I don't know what y'all think about it. Yeah, Trip. Wisdom comes with age. Yeah. Oh yeah, zombie AI helpers. Yeah, I don't use that shit. Now I have this laptop here. I'm using a laptop right now for my live stream for my video stuff, right? And I did it just because the cameras and stuff, they just work with Windows, and I didn't have the luxury of time at the time. I didn't have the time to do all the work and shit with Linux. So I got a laptop that has Windows on it. But I want to move all that shit over to Linux. I just want to use my Linux PC here to do my stuff. And luckily, I don't know how much y'all have been paying attention, but Steam, the company Valve, have been making Linux all the games playable on Linux, right? All the Windows games are playable on Linux, most of them. So a lot more people are using Linux now. So hardware companies that make cameras and stuff like that will start making their drivers for Linux, because a lot more people are going to start using Linux. And that was the thing, because everybody used Windows, so all of the game programmers and camera manufacturers and shit, they had to make their stuff for Windows because that's where everybody was, right? So the manufacturers and the customers had each other in a catch-22. But now Valve is kind of ripping that paradigm apart and changing it so people can choose Linux now. So I think I'll be able to swap over and start using Linux as my video content creating OS, which is what I wanted to do the entire time. I just didn't have the time to do all the workarounds and shit. But I think that's getting fixed. Yeah, I don't. They make quality products, Shannon. I don't doubt. I've used Apple. Like I said, they make quality products. I just don't agree with their philosophy. You know what I mean? So yeah, as far as their products go and stuff, I understand that. I just don't agree with some of the other shit they do, but outside of the making of the product thing. But that's the thing. you know, they're good at it. They're good at making products and getting people into that ecosystem, and then the people don't want to leave. That's what they're best at. They're better than that than they are at actually making products. And Google and these other companies are trying to emulate that. They're trailing behind Samsung. They're trailing behind Apple in that. They're trying to get people in their ecosystem with, you know, Google Photos and iDrive and all that shit. And Samsung's kind of doing the same thing. They got their Samsung storage and all that. You know, they're just emulating Apple, trailing behind Apple, trying to build an ecosystem like that. So yeah, I understand, and it's hard to get out of that. even if you wanted to, it would be difficult, which obviously you don't. You like their stuff and you're happy with that. So more power to you. Yeah, I have a Charlie Brown Thanksgiving. Yeah, I personally don't like the closed environment of Apple. The shit works great, yeah, but I want to be able to choose shit. I want to be able to use a different browser if I want. I want to be able to use, you know, anything I want. A different, you know, if I don't want to support a company, then I want to be able to pick an alternative software. I don't want to be stuck with their software, stuck with supporting them. So no, Apple just doesn't fit in my, you know, in my framework, my mindset. Oh yeah, okay, Razio, yeah. You switched to Linux, dude, and number one, it's just fun. You know, have you ever used Linux before, Razio? If I can get my shit, I'm gonna change this laptop over to Linux. I'm gonna smash Windows 11 off of this damn thing and put Linux on here. If I can get my Linux computer running my cameras and everything, which I think is going to be easier now. I'm going to work on that my next day off. Yeah, Jack, that's what I'm thinking. Everybody might be in a food coma, dude. Maybe, you know, I don't know. Maybe I'll do a live stream, and if people show up, you know, if not, I can always, you know, cut it short, do 15 minutes, and if nobody shows up, then just, you know, sayonara. Say goodbye to everybody. Post Thanksgiving show, 2 hours. Trip. Okay, we got one for a nice big Thanksgiving show. You're getting Chinese food for Thanksgiving? Zombie? Yeah, we did that for Christmas last year. We just ordered Chinese. It was pretty cool. I just can't do that with Thanksgiving though. I mean, can't. You know, we use that kind of... I can. I just don't want to. I don't want to do that for Thanksgiving. I want turkey and stuff, you know. That's the one time a year I get to eat the cranberry jelly stuff, cranberry sauce or whatever it's called. And then I've got I grew a bunch of sweet potatoes. And me and the wife are going to make candied yams, you know. Out of the garden, and yeah, so I bought some marshmallows and stuff, so I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, Robert, you're right. Our representatives, and even if they gave a shit, our representatives, our thieves, are you know, it's all. I go down that road, I start getting mad. Oh, okay. So they all still work and everything? Oh, I've got OBS, which is the one I use, the program I use. That's what I'm using right now to stream with. That's on Linux. What's the other program I use? Audacity for my sound. I use Audacity. That's on Linux. Everything's on Linux. The only thing is getting the software is fine, because there's all kinds of, computer programmers who will make software for Linux, nerds, and, make stuff for people like me. But it's the hardware, getting my camera to play nice with Linux. You know what I mean? I plug my camera in and it just comes up on Windows. I can just see myself. It's just, I just picked that camera. On Linux, though, that doesn't happen. You might have to download a driver somewhere that some guy, in his basement programmed for this brand of camera, because this camera manufacturer didn't make a driver for Linux, but some computer programmer bought this camera and he wanted to make it work, so he made his own driver, and it kind of works. You run into that kind of shit with Linux, just because not enough people use it, not because Linux is bad or anything. It's just hardware manufacturers don't make drivers for Linux because not enough people use it. And every aspect other than that, it's better than Windows in my opinion, no matter which one you get. Whether it be Ubuntu or Arch or whatever, Linux is better in my experience. I love Linux. Windows is just a pain in the ass. Oh yeah, I bet, Robert. Gerald Clark. Yeah, I bet that would be some interesting shit, dude. Yeah, everybody has their own experience with Android. I don't like Google or Apple. Any of those big trillion-dollar companies, I don't like any of it. I have Android phones, but only because I don't have the money or the time to try to get something else now. I want a phone. I want a Linux phone. I want the LiBRO 5. That would be my phone if I could just afford, $1,000 to drop on a phone. That's what I would have. I wouldn't have Google or Apple or any of that shit. So I just, any big trillion-dollar company, I don't want to support them. I just don't. Yeah, Seuss, Raziel, that's one of the first ones I used years ago. That's actually OpenSUSE is the one that got me hooked on Linux. Because I bought the book at a Books A Million. I bought the book like $25 or whatever, and it came with the CD, and it was just so awesome, sitting there in Books A Million looking at it. I was like, damn, I'm gonna buy this bitch. Took it home, put that bitch on my computer, and I haven't used, except until now, until I started this YouTube channel, I haven't used Windows since, and it was OpenSUSE that did that. I loved it. It was just awesome, and it's now, since then, it's matured so much. You just download the file, and convert it to an ISO, burn the ISO to a thumb drive, and put the thumb drive in the computer and boot it. It's literally, I'll install a new OS, wipe my hard drive, and install a new OS in 10 minutes now. But I have experience because I've done it a bunch of times, but it's not like it used to be, where you'd have to get a CD and burn it to a DVD or whatever and do all kinds of crazy shit. Now you just drag the thing over to a thumb drive and put the thumb drive, and yeah, it's really simple now. It's awesome. Yeah, you can. I think you can do that just about with anyone with virtual machines, right? Don't they have virtual machines for just about any OS, don't they, Shannon? I think you can do that with Windows and Linux too. You just run it in a virtual machine. Oh, all right, Robert. Yeah, hanging out with the chickens. That's living life, dude. Yeah. Oh, okay, Raziel. So you're experienced. Okay. All right. You out of here, Tripwire? You have a good one, Trip. Thank you for showing up, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, turkey puts me to sleep too, Metal Gear. Yeah, sometimes just being alone is better than all kinds of chaos and drama. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Oh, damn. All right, zombie. Yeah. No, you'll be in our prayers, dude. You and your dad, man. I hope he pulls through. Oh yeah, Raziel. Yeah, yeah. They're not quite there yet. They need, but because they need support, that's the thing. They need support. So that's one of the first things I'm going to do if I get the money one day is try to support those companies that are doing good shit. But it takes, for me to support them, I have to be able to support myself first. Yeah, yeah, Raziel. Debian. Well, there are so many other distros that are based on Debian, starting with Ubuntu. I think Debian is like what, like 80% of the Linux distros are Debian or Debian based. So yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. All right. All right. Yeah, I gotta get ready for work too. We ran a little bit past today, so I'm gonna say goodbye to Jack Mohack, Raziel, Zombie, Robert. Uh, who else we got? Jeff Seven, Shannon, Tripwire. He already left us though. Who else? I said Robert. I wish they would do something different here. Metal Gear. Can't forget Metal Gear. They make me search through all the comments to see who showed up. I wish they'd give us a better way to say goodbye to everybody. All right. Well, I know some more people showed up that I am missing. Dolby. All right. Well, if I didn't say your name, goodbye to you as well. I apologize, but they don't give me a real great way to find you back in the comments. I've got to just scroll through and hope I find you. So I apologize for that. But thank you for showing up. Y'all have finish out the week in style. Have a great rest of the week. And I will, let's see, I'll see you again this evening. Yeah, see you again this evening at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Hopefully we'll have another good show. And thanks for showing up. Thanks again. I appreciate it. I have a blast with these live streams. Y'all teach me so much. And we have such a good conversation. So thank you very much. Oh, yeah, Dog Karma. Dog Karma, too. Goodbye to Dog Karma. And I will leave you there with that. As always, stay frosty, Gen X. And I'll see you on the next one.